passionate about Cleveland sports.
He's going in, touchdown!
Browns, Indians, Cavs, the Big Ten, and more.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again!
Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond.
Swing it and drive! To deep right!
Here are your hosts, Andy Billman and Jared Watson.
Hello and welcome to Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman, I'm Jared Watson, and we are going to jump right into this.
Cleveland Browns.
The Browns really sucked on Sunday. It's plain and simple. Andy, I'm ready to lose my mind after that game. It was atrocious first half, atrocious penalties. It seemed like they needed Baker to get hit in the head to wake everyone up. And again, you can point to a missed a penalty that should have been and a flag that was picked up. It's same as it ever was.
Well, I was going to say, I think this was the sudden change from Friday morning to today. I really thought the whole tone of the weekend was set with the Carlos Hyde trade. I understand from an analytics perspective, from a contract perspective, of why you trade Carlos Hyde. He's not going to play next year. Nick Chubb's proving himself. You want him to get some more carries.
Yeah.
You're building. Carlos Hyde's not coming back. You get a fifth-round pick. You get some value back. Here's why I hate this deal. Oh, that makes sense. I thought it set the tone for the first time this year to be like, you know what? We're not so sure if we're concerned about winning or losing from day to day. We're more concerned about 2019. 2018, hey, we won 2 games. We tied. Look at that Ravens win. Look at that Jets night. We're really going to try to build things more for the future. This year, hopefully we get some more wins, yada-da. I don't like trades like that because I don't think it sets a good precedent to a team that needs to learn how to start winning. Yeah. We didn't win again on Sunday. And you got to start at some point. All these Brown regimes, you know what? We're going to start really winning is next year. I'm tired of that. I want them to start winning this year.
Yeah. I don't understand why they would take that mentality. Doesn't work if Tyrod's not the quarterback. It goes right back to if that's their plan, it all went up in smoke as soon as Baker came out on the field. Well, then you have to. Then what are you doing confidence wise? And this is the type of move where you're getting rid of a good vet a good vet in the locker room. A good voice in the locker room.
Who finds the end zone.
Yes.
Who's been scoring. Again, Dorsey has done a good job. I'm not saying the Browns won't flip this into something positive. We'll get to that.
Right.
This year now is toilet water. Flush it. See, folks, they might win a couple more games. Season's over. No more playoffs. And who they traded to? Jacksonville.
Yeah, in the conference.
We're competing with Jacksonville for a playoff spot. It isn't we're trading Tyrod Taylor. I would have a little bit more empathy for that. Sympathy, understanding. I get it. We're basically like, hey, Jacksonville, need a running back? We want to help you. Here's ours.
That's really I can't understand what else. I mean, because Andy, it's not like they're turning around and packaging this in for a wide receiver deal before the trade deadline. Right. I mean, and even if they do, I don't understand, who bundles up? Do you think that any team is looking for a 5th round bundled up with something? How does that make any deal more enticing for a team in regard to a wide receiver? I don't understand the thought process.
Again, I don't want to hear the analytics of this. I don't want to hear that today. I'm here to try to win games as a fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to hear about a 5th round pick and that was the proper trade. I don't want to hear that crap. You know what they should have said? Hey, Jacksonville, we're competing with you. You need to give us a 4th or a 3rd round pick for Carlos Hyde. That I would have been like, all right, now they're upping their ante. They're getting overpriced for something. But that's what you should do. Jacksonville's trying to make a Super Bowl run. Put some pressure on them. Lean on them. Make them give up something more. If I don't want to go, that wasn't my point of this. I thought that set the tone going into the whole weekend.
Players did not hold back on Twitter in regard to that either. Randall tweeted right away as soon as he saw it. I mean,
I just don't understand. And again, for Dorsey's sake, maybe he takes this and turns it around. But now your margin for error next year gets smaller. Now the pressure is on that draft or that draft pick. Now you're putting all your pressure again into next year.
Yeah.
This year, I hope I'm wrong, but I was so not surprised about that first half. Carlos Hyde being traded, again, it's nothing to do with Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's a good running back. I love that pick. It's nothing to do with me not understanding what's happening next year.
Right.
What I don't understand is I thought when Dorsey came here and his whole aura, and you tell me, do you think I'm wrong, Jared? I thought his whole thing was we want to start winning now.
Well, not only the winning now, but the more I think about this, there are other players that I guess what I'm saying is it's such an isolated, strange move that I don't, and maybe I don't understand the ends of all of it, but,
right.
but like, why not trade Tyrod? Why not trade, Jabril Peppers? Why not? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of all the moves that I could think of that could have happened. I would have never seen this one coming. Never.
Doesn't make any sense.
Now, he's production wise overall. He's not putting up the greatest numbers, but he's definitely getting a lot more carries.
Did Nick Chubb look great on Sunday?
It took him until the second half, but
did he look great? No.
I think he looked. I think he looked a little better than Carlos on a few runs where he's really patient in the backfield and finding the holes to hit. But yeah, overall, I don't know.
Not a big difference. Not a big difference. My point is, what happens if you lose Nick Chubb? What happened in the fourth quarter when the Browns were at the 2-yard line? Did they score?
Why did they? Well, yeah, that's a whole other issue. Why in the world do you take your? I love Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield is not going to bust through that line. I mean, they were stacked on that line. Why would they not spread out? Why would they not spread out that offense and hand the ball off to Nick Chubb?
We can throw plenty of gasoline on
like that was insane.
I want to say that for last. I gotta be honest with you. I thought the play calling on offense had a really bad day again.
Oh yeah. Really the only bright spot that I could there's two bright spots. And Njoku had one really bad drop, I believe, but other than that, he looked good. They really focused on tightening up where that ball's being thrown to with Landry getting 10 receptions.
Landry had a good day.
And beyond that, he had 10 receptions, finally almost broke the 100-yard, reception mark for the game.
Played much better. He stepped up.
Made a couple of really good catches too, and important.
Game-tying touchdown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he made plays. There's no doubt about it.
And Nick Chubb looked like he can take over and carry the load. But
I don't want that to get misconstrued.
No, absolutely. I'm not missing that up either, because it goes back to what the hell are you doing this for? The why.
Well, right. But Ryan, wouldn't it have been nice to have Carlos Hyde in the game? Late in that game when you're trying to make a 2-yard touchdown run, the fourth quarter, where it's pretty clear that's what – I mean, by the way, Carlos was doing that this year.
Yeah.
So it was all these different things. Like, Dorsey's done a nice job with these players. There's no doubt he's better than what we've seen. But doesn't mean Dorsey's not at fault here. I thought that was a bad trade for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because this year, folks, unless a miracle and power miracles happen – the playoffs aren't happening now. Now with the Steelers coming off a bye on the road and the Chiefs, and then you play the Falcons, a team that's desperate to make the playoffs. Come on, it's gonna be a hard run now for the rest of this year.
These next two games, it might end up looking as bad, if not worse, than that Chargers game.
I just don't like the tones these administrations set in Cleveland, and that was another administration of a white flag, because if Nick Chubb gets hurt. It is going to be, and that's a position where that can happen. Running backs get hurt.
Right. That's not where Duke is best. He's not best out of the backfield like that. That's not
possession. It's the one group you want to have depth. But no, not here. We're not. We're too good for that. We don't need Carlos Hyde. We don't need that stuff. And again, I'm not unwise. I know Dorsey can draft well. I know that stuff. I just think it's interesting. He's putting his cards on the table for next year, which is really bad news for Hue Jackson, because Hue Jackson's days are numbered. There's no.
Oh, absolutely! I can't believe they put it. We're right now as we record this. He's at the podium.
He should be.
I was kind of interested, but then as soon as I turned it on, I don't even want to hear him. I don't even want to hear him. I can't believe they're walking that man up to the podium again. I can't believe it. I honestly, I thought to myself all the way up until he came up and showed his face to the media today. I thought there was a chance somebody else might walk up and be like, "Yeah, we let him go." that was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, Hue's in trouble. I mean, that's the other thing about the Carlos Hyde move.
Oh.
And that's why I don't like this tone, the mentality it sets, because it really does say, hey, look, it's the beginning of the end of Mr. Jackson here. Because you're taking away a weapon, another veteran, another rookie has to come in and play a lot of games down the stretch. Again, wait till the season gets on, and let's see by week 16 and 15 and 17 if we're missing Carlos Hyde.
Well,
I would beg to say we probably do.
You know,
I think we're only missing him for one game, but
Hue,
we'll see.
It's not like Hue really needs a lot to find excuses, and
I know.
he's been given.
I know.
He's good at finding excuses, and if he gets let go, he'll have plenty of them.
But by the way, this is I agree. I was going to mention that he's certainly not getting a lot of weapons here for down the stretch. I mean, Carlos Hyde's a big deal with him leaving. So I had to start that off because Jared called me and he and his lovely wife commented. I was really disappointed. I just don't. That was kind of trades. Signal off, hey, we're preparing again for next year. And again, I wanted to start winning
blown away.
This year.
I know.
Right. I'm not saying playoffs. I'm not saying playoff victories. All I'm saying is I wanted to win more than 2 or 3 or 4 games.
And the intangibles.
We're going
Andy.
down that path. We're going down that path again and winning 4 and 5 games, and it's going to get worse. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope all this I'm saying is wrong.
The intangibles. They need someone. They need guys like him in that locker room with those young kids.
Yes, you get where I'm going. Teaching winning, a position that needs depth. So we go into the game now after our podcast on Friday. That happens. Now you go into Sunday. Outside of the safety, the first half was a complete blank show. It was all bad, folks. I mean, what was your favorite penalty? The offensive line mask.
You finally got your week, Andy. Your week on a game that could be blamed on penalties, a loss. We could. I mean, we can put blame on a few different areas, but we definitely, first half play. But penalties? What were there, 11 for more than 100 yards?
I mean, it's a joke.
And at the worst times, negated good runs by Nick Chubb. I mean, it stalled drives and it helped. It helped them. Drives.
I want to say this. I am ready for Myles Garrett to become great because so far I have not seen that leap. And I'm tired of these.
I will say the offsides drove me nuts. And I commented on somebody earlier in the week made the comment of Garrett, all these missed calls on Garrett, or he's doubled up on and all this and that. And all I thought was Myles needs to stop worrying about running his mouth about anything, and he needs to start worrying about not over pursuing on the snap, and not jumping the snap like he's been doing. I was told by that person it was a bad take. After this Sunday, I was proven why it was a good take.
Myles Garrett is not playing up to his talent level, and it showed in this game. He made a couple impact plays. I believe he made a sack.
Yep.
He's not playing that offsides penalty. I mean, that was it's just a drive extender.
Yeah.
It just keeps Tampa Bay moving with the ball. That's got to stop. Let's do one thing real quickly too. Let's touch upon it, and then I want to get off it. The penalties right now are definitely through the orange and brown glasses not going our way.
Right.
And nationally, it's getting the same vibe. And what happens is when you lose like this, you lose. It starts becoming more of like a mushroom cloud of an aura, okay? I always felt this way about the Indians, too, in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
When they were winning, I always felt there were calls that didn't go our way. When you lose, studying other teams and studying other practices like this, when you lose, people automatically get flag happy because you've been losing for so long. That goes back to my original point with Carlos Hyde. You've got to stop the losing and start winning now. It can't be next year. That stuff doesn't work. It hasn't worked. Why do you think it'd work now? Okay, you want to continue this mentality? Fine. You're going to get flags because referees automatically think it's the Browns. They probably did do it. And that is not fair. It's not right, but it's how humans react.
Yeah.
And it's what's going on in this team. And it's going to continue if you keep doing motions, trades like this that make you feel you don't care about winning this year. Which, by the way, they clearly don't. They'd rather have a draft pick. Fine, that's great, but it doesn't help this year. So there's penalties. The penalty on Mayfield was ridiculous. Of course it's the Browns, whether it's McCoy against the Steelers, whether it's, one of the many hits Cribbs took over the years. That one yesterday for Mayfield. I have no idea why, but this isn't just a new thing.
Let Tom Brady take that hit and see what happens.
Right, exactly. But my point being is, you know why these penalties aren't new? They've been going on forever. You know why? We're not good. We're not winning games enough. We have different talent. We all see that's why we're frustrated today. Because you want to start seeing winning and results on the field. Another overtime loss on a 59-yard field goal? It's just all this stuff, the penalties and stuff, I just don't think it's a new theme. I've seen this for years. Again, McCoy and the Steelers, that kid took such a vicious hit that night. I still can't believe that wasn't a flag. I mean, it looks like I don't even remember that hit. I thought McCoy really lost his life, and I'm not being funny.
It was scary as hell. I forgot about it until you brought it up right now. I really thought it was going to come out on a stretcher. I just want to bring this up because this isn't new with the Browns. That's why I don't like talking about it. It isn't new. This has been going on forever. You know why? We've been crappy. Yeah.
And when you continue to do this, it makes referees throw flags out easier. All right, fine. Now let's get me fired up about what's going on in the field. Second half, first half.
Well, yeah. What's wrong with Baker? Why is Baker tight? Is Baker reacting to no Carlos Hyde? Is Baker reacting to knowing he has to get the ball to Jarvis Landry more often and quicker? Is he recognizing he's holding on to the ball too long in situations? Because he looked, I don't know, skittish a little bit in that first half.
I thought the first half Baker played really tight. I thought even for a rookie, I put this in the classification of Baker doesn't look good. Even as a rookie, this is not going well. He caught some balance. I saw him do some things on the field. In the second half, I thought he played better. I thought I saw some things. But something to keep your eye on is I thought Baker looked shook after the game, clearly, as everybody pointed out. And I think that first half, I thought he played poorly. I really didn't think he added anything. And I thought that first half play where he got taken out right before halftime was a perfect play to kind of symbolize the first half. A couple other things to hit on. There after the first drive, 9 plays, 6 yards, 3 punts. One more time. 9 plays, 6 yards, 3 punts after the first drive. Awful. Browns had a very hard time bringing down Winston in the first half. That was something else I just wanted to bring up and notice. And this is something I was texting to you, Jared. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with Brown teams over the years, especially with Brian Daboll, who loved throwing a good 4-yard screen on 13 yards where he needed to get.
Oh, it's constant. I mean, and you got third and long.
Come on.
I know.
What are we doing?
That was everything.
I mean, I've watched the game again. There was a lot of that on Sunday. 3rd and 12. Hey, we got 7. I mean, are we really becoming that again? I thought we were going away from that. And how many times it's like 3rd and 11. Oh, we got 6. Hey, it's like, I thought we were beyond this. A lot of that stuff came back on Sunday in the first half. Second half came obviously better. The turnover, okay, let's hit on one positive. The turnovers forced by the defense in this game kept the Browns in this game.
Absolutely. Yet, how many points did we put on the board off those 4 turnovers?
Only 7. But
4 turnovers, 7 points to show for it.
Jared, we're not good. I wish I could say better. We're just not a good team. I thought we were, but I'm starting to now become out of the breaking of my Browns colored glasses here. This team they're not prepared to win these kind of games.
Not
like that.
Prepared. Weird.
They're not prepared. Whether it's Pettin, and that goes back to another problem. Why even bring you back? But let's do that for another podcast. Because that's not for today. Because now we're already here.
Baker fumbling the ball. When he knew he wasn't going to pass the ball, that ball should have been tucked and put in the outside arm.
Absolutely.
That was the first. He put that ball down. He never tucked it, and he had it in his throwing arm, in his right arm. And if all he had to do was switch arms, and that would have never happened. Would have never happened, and they'd have got the first down.
Again, Baker woke up after that play, so I'll give him a lot of credit because I think that play actually needed to happen. Because I thought after that play happened in the first half, Baker came back to normal, came back to earth.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, that was alarming this game, watching the Browns, the Buccaneers' defense isn't that good. And, boy, they looked great in the first half. Second half, the Browns did a better job. But, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I didn't think the Buccaneers looked good. And the Browns made them look good.
No, I think the best. Yeah, there were a few. There were a handful of wide open receivers, which we expected.
Winston was running all over the place.
Winston's feet hurt us for sure. But overall, we still were able to hold their run game to around 100 yards, which for Brown standards, we can't. But I mean, they did. But let's look at how they scored their touchdowns. All three of them were. They have three. They were all running plays too. I'm pretty sure, right? They scored running the ball. Did they catch the ball?
Yeah, Landry got that one touchdown to get him in the overtime.
No, I'm talking about the Buccaneers. Even though they only rushed for, I think they had 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, the defense the defense actually. The only thing I'll give the defense again is penalties at times are poor, but really, to be fair, they did a really nice job. Denzel Ward's an absolute star, and again, the only thing that I'll heighten on the defense that I really saw that came away with is, I'm just starting to come. We need to watch the whole season, but Myles Garrett is a good player. I don't know if he's great. I just am not seeing anything great.
I will say that he was hooked a lot.
I know.
Again, I'm not seeing him getting the holds.
I know.
It's almost like LeBron driving to the lane. They can call a foul every time, but they don't.
That goes back to the point 5 minutes ago. I mean, the Browns right now are under this. They've created this order where it's easy to throw flags or not call flags, right?
Yeah.
And the Browns have definitely earned that, and they're getting those. Sadly, they're getting them.
Well,
the other couple things, we talked about the 2-yard line thing. Hey, it would have been great to have, obviously, Carlos Hyde. We didn't have him. All right, let's get to the elephant in the room. I mean, he had a couple good returns this year. He had a good return in this game. But Peppers cannot be returning kicks anymore. I mean, good Lord. Are we good with this? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Big fumble. Big fumble. Big spot, big fumble. And again, I mean,
we've been saying it all year. I mean, sad sack Browns. I mean, just putting players back there shouldn't be back there. Peppers is an example. He shouldn't be back there in that spot. I'm sorry. And he made a bad play and cost him the game. And I have no idea why he's back there returning kicks. Callaway was nowhere to be found in this game. Would love to see when he's going to make a new appearance as a wide receiver. Didn't really. He got one penalty.
One catch.
Call.
Well, he had a penalty and he had one reception, and I think it was for like 14 yards or something. That was it.
As the season goes on, I'm going to be on Callaway. I really want to see him to do more. I do agree with you about Njoku. He played much better in this game. He's actually
and he made a couple good catches too.
Again, when he's on, he's on. He is that player. When he's on, he's on. He'll play well.
Right.
He'll have a couple drops, but like when he's off, it's like a disease. Like you can't even do anything about it. And again, the Peppers thing, I just can't get over how in that kind of spot, and that's how – because let's be fair, the Browns have the ball midfield. You never know. Even with this team, hell, you can roll down the field and kick a 50-yard field goal.
Well, again, it was another game where they had great field position for a lot of the game.
Oh, I know.
They had great – and defensively, we had them pinned often.
And again, something else that's bothering me that you got to give him another year, but, 6 plays in overtime, 4 yards. 6 plays in overtime. 3 and out, and a total of 4 yards. I mean, is that them in a situation of here we go again? Is that mentality? I'm guessing. I just all that. I know people. I want to save Hue for last, but I want to make sure everybody gets proper dinged here. We dinged Dorsey. Baker didn't play well in the first half. Callaway stunk. Chubb played okay. Todd Haley, and I like Todd. I want to love Todd. I don't think he's doing a great job as offensive coordinator. not seeing it in these games. I don't see the team moving down the field in overtime. Do you? Does anybody at this point?
I don't.
What are your thoughts? I'm almost ready to say, you know what? Todd comes back. It'll be
It's
fine.
such a catch-22 though. Exactly. Like I don't know. Like this is the problem is you got Dumb and Dumber in this situation. Who do you trust making these calls more? Well, I'm the head football coach, so maybe I'll go in there because I got to do what I got to do to make this offense ready. Like, what are you talking about? Who are you to say that you're going to come in here? Like, again, wrong tone, as if we all don't know you're the head coach and that we know you're the head coach because we know that how many wins we have under you as head coach.
We're all aware. Now, it goes back to my point, though. Like, everybody wants to take shots at you, and he's deserved it, and he will take shots in this podcast. But Todd Haley isn't doing –
No, but that's what I mean. But, I mean, that doesn't mean that I want this going back into Hue's hands, play calls.
I know.
Like, I don't know that there's a winning – I don't know that there's a good option with this.
I just think this is what happens, and I'm going to start off again at the top. You trade Josh Gordon, that's great. I've been saying this for a couple weeks now. What's your replacement for him? We haven't found one yet.
By the way, we haven't found one yet, and are we going to? Because I don't think we are. I do not think.
By the way, when you make trades for Carlos Hyde, if you think Amari Cooper's coming to Cleveland, come on. You're not coming to Cleveland. Not now. You're playing for the future. Not now. And I'll tell you, I'm just being honest, folks. I don't think the Buccaneers were that good. I thought the Buccaneers tried to get that game away. And the Browns couldn't take it for the life of them. Couldn't take it. It's like a hot potato, as Peppers proved. Put it right there on the floor. Bucks get the ball. Bang, boom, bing. Next thing you know, 59-yard field goal, only against the Browns. Someone like that.
I knew it. As soon, Andy, I swear to you, I knew he was going to miss the first one. I knew we were going to overtime. When I saw it was a 59-yarder, I look at my wife and I go, let me tell you all the reasons why he's going to make this kick.
You made it.
Tony Grossi said his tweet didn't last very long. That he's this bum's not going to make this kick. I knew he was going to make that kick. 59-yarder, are you kidding me? Of course he's going to nail that. You know why? Because we're the Browns.
Well, that's my whole point. I feel like we've gone back to what we've been dealing with for a long time now. I didn't feel that way on Friday. I do now.
Well, that's not a good sign because because that just means that means the rest of this season is going to be a meat grinder for Baker Mayfield, and who knows if he's so beat up and disgruntled and disheveled by the end of this season, whether he can. It could be a case of Tim Couch all over again, because I still to this day think Tim Couch got a bad rap in the city of Cleveland. I think Tim Couch would have been a good quarterback with a better team. And I feel like that's possibly what Baker's going to be running into here is how durable is he going to be, especially because he's not the biggest guy in the world either. And he's been getting hit a lot more lately.
Well, I will just say the Tim Couch theory, I'm not as much on the bandwagon, but I'll say this about Baker Mayfield. These losses are eating him up.
Oh, he don't like it.
When you keep taking weapons away and you're not adding anything into this year, it gets hard trying to win games mentally. And everybody can clap and, we can say these great things in April when we're making draft picks and we're going through the 5th round and we get all.
That's what we're talking about again, Andy.
But that's what we're talking about. And I'll tell you the other thing too.
Draft picks. We're talking about next year's draft.
Hey, by the way, we should. That's
already.
Hey, by the way, we should. We're almost there, folks. I hate this. I don't like doing this. I don't like being negative. I was so bummed on Friday because I knew it's like, here we go. I thought we weren't doing this. I thought we weren't getting sucked into the Browns loser vortex. And here we are again. The wheels are just getting all ramped up. And again, you could just see in the first half, I wasn't surprised by anything. All right, let's turn the page to Hue Jackson. Look, it's a matter of time. Guy stinks. He can't win a big game, save his life. Mm-hmm. It's probably a miracle we beat the Ravens and the Jets. Let's just hope we get out of here. Maybe win 2 or 3 more games. That's probably what you're looking at. I hope I'm wrong. Hue Jackson, look, it's just a matter of time. And what I will say, you kind of teed it up, and I was going to say it too. He deserves to go. He's not been a good coach. But my gosh, is he getting less and less weapons there down the stretch. It's going to be tough for him to win games. It's going to be tough. A lot of rookies making a lot of plays down.
Well,
a lot of rookies.
Again, I can go back to all I can go off of with at this point with Hue is it goes back to him at the podium. And him at the podium, he's terrible. He does not display any leadership qualities that I look for in a leader. I have yet to see him display any leadership qualities that make me think we can blame this all on the talent. I can't do it, because you know what? Him and Todd Haley, if this is an issue, play calling, fix it. Talk to him.
Yeah,
go have a one-on-one. You don't need to do it with the media in the room. And I'm not, and this goes back to the difference between hiding things like why somebody got hurt and when they got hurt and why they're not playing. It's not the same thing. This is about handling your business. And him and Todd Haley are not handling their business, and it seems like they're probably pretty. If I know Hugh, he's probably passive-aggressive as hell with them.
Well, I'll tell you what. Look, being around enough work situations tell you, it's pretty. Hit the Captain Obvious gong. I mean, Haley, you don't like each other, and what I've actually seen is self-destruction. I'm more in Haley's corner, but I don't think Haley should get a free pass. I know Haley's had some moments here too where it hasn't looked exactly great. No,
he's gotten too cute. He's tried to be, he probably got a little ego going on. Probably doing things to spite Hugh at certain points. Whether he realizes or not, these are biases that he might not even realize that they're playing in and factoring into why he's making decisions the way he is at certain points. But the evidence is pretty clear in regard to that relationship being a wash. But I mean, but what do you do? What do you do? Do you fire Hugh and then do you have Todd Haley as interim head coach? I don't know that I want that.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing here is there's a lot of things that were forced. There were a lot of things this year that did not, you can kind of feel during Hard Knocks, but it looks like the Browns were going to overcome all this with new energy, Baker Mayfield, draft picks, new players coming in, veterans being added. And what I've learned starting on Friday is the dam was just too much water. A lot of water's leaking through, and now the it's about ready to burst. And,
well, let me ask you this, Andy. With the dam being about to burst, it looks like a lot of players have been given a lot of leeway in regard to what they're saying on social media about the refs lately, too. I'm wondering if that's a real good look at the end of the day.
Look, again, I think it's a bigger – again, the only thing that I don't understand why people are getting on this so much, this has been going on for a long time. I saw this in the last few years from the Browns. Not just this year. I've seen this for a while, and it's because the losing builds, and it's easier to make assumptions about teams that aren't good. You want to throw the flags. This is the Browns. It probably is a flag. And that's not fair. It's not the right thing to do, but that's people's mentality. Players complaining on social media and stuff, look, everybody does it. I wouldn't do it, but I'm starting to learn. If that's how you want to get yourself off your chest and you win, fine. But when you lose and you keep losing and you're complaining, you know what it looks like? Players complaining that it's not playing well.
Right.
It is. It's not a good look.
And it's not like the refs are going to turn around and go, "Oh, well, Christian Kirksey said this on Twitter, so you know what, guys? We need to tighten this up because we really don't want him saying those things about." Like, that's not how it works. Usually, when you call somebody out like that, they're not going to take it too kindly. I'm just saying that's. I know. It doesn't help their cause.
Again, the full circle here with this team, and I'm surprised we're here, is that, oh, by the way, there's breaking news that just came through. Amari Cooper will be a Cowboy as of this coming Sunday for a first-round pick. So
Oh.
By the way, it's a high draft
at least that's what I was just going to say. At least the Cowboys were dumb enough to give a first for him.
Yeah, that's not a smart trade. But that's for another podcast, another show. But I'm sure people will be excited. And Mark Cooper does have raw talent, but he has not played well the last year and a half.
He's got raw hands, too.
Well, by the way, Raiders are another team, like the Browns. They're going to be doing mock drafts here soon. So, going back, it's true. I mean, we don't want to do it, but it's like, maybe we should do one next week on the show. Might as well.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be in the top 10 again. So, going back to this whole thing, I just don't like how this whole idea of we're trying to turn things around and then you do moves like that. You're kind of speaking with both ends of your mouth. Make a decision. Are you trying to go forward and try to win games? Or are you kind of, nimble, you're trying to go this, that, do what's best, what do you think is right, and making adjustments on the fly. That's fine if you want to do that. But if you do, when you cut a Josh Gordon, when you trade a Carlos Hyde, and you have only rookies and no vets to really fill in those spots, it makes a team look fragile. And the Browns look really, really fragile.
I don't think it helps for the long term either, even though I know that's the mentality. That's the mentality, is that this is a move for the long term. But what they don't realize is that rush to do the long term is hurting them in the near term, and hurting them in the near term is mentally tearing them apart.
And again, that's why I said I don't like the trade.
Yep.
I don't like that trade. I want to start winning games now. I really do. Look, next week against Pittsburgh, you're going to hear all these different people saying things, and maybe the Browns come back and win. I don't know. But look, it's going to be hard to really get into that game thinking the Browns are going to win. For the first time this Sunday, I was even into the Bucs game, I'll be honest. But next Sunday, it's going to feel like it did the last couple years, like the last few years, to be honest with you. It's like, just hopefully we compete. Hopefully we, stay in the game a little bit.
Ben's coming off an extra week of rest. So
I know. It's just disappointing.
Where are you at, Miles?
I know. Again, I think he's good. He's not great. I don't think he's a bad player, but and again, the injuries and everything that comes about it. Again, for everything that's about the defense, they actually played well. But as the days continue, it sounds like he's going to take over play calling. Fine, whatever. Just do what you got to do. Just win the game.
Yeah, don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's my point. I don't care anymore. Because I'll be honest with you, Haley really hasn't done anything to blow me away. So I'm fine. But just win the game. I could care less if you go on Madden, and that's how you choose to win them. And that works. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you do is great. I'm all behind it. But I all this different stuff behind it, the scenes.
Just give me the W.
Yeah. So I guess my one question I'll ask on this, and then let's just wrap up the NFL so we can get off this terrible Browns platform and talk about how those Cavs are doing. So,
no, I don't. Well, you sure you want to talk about the Cavs? Because I want to talk about the Buckeyes.
I would like to talk about the Buckeyes.
I bet you would. I don't want to now.
So I was going to say, now that's a topic I would like to do. But real quickly on this whole thing, I think going forward, Jared, let's do this real fast. Let's do the schedule games. I think this is a good time to do
I don't want to do it.
No, let's do the schedule game. It's like truth or dare for people who are younger. But this is all right, at the Steelers right now.
Loss
as well. Chiefs loss. You?
Oh man, it would take. The problem is defensively they beat. It's a strange matchup.
Okay. Do you think they beat the Chiefs at home? Really? That'd be an amazing win.
Let's just. All right, fine. We'll call them common sense. Loss. That's a loss.
Okay. Okay. Now the Falcons is a weird one, and this is before their bye week. They had the long bye this week, meaning they have one of the last buys in the league. In fact, they have the last one you could possibly take because there's no more buys after Thanksgiving. So they have the Falcons at home. Falcons are kind of desperate. They're playing a Monday Night Football game where they only have 2 wins. Falcons at home.
That's an experienced team. They'll pull together against the Browns. That's a loss. The thing is, Andy, why would the Browns win that game?
I know. But they probably lose.
Because everything that I want to say is they win that game because they win the turnover battles, right? That's even why I think that they can possibly win this Chiefs game. The problem is they don't turn those turnovers into points. Therefore, I can't give them that game. I can't.
All right, before we do the last 6, does Hue Jackson make it through the bye week when they go play Cincinnati?
Ooh,
I say no.
ooh.
I say no.
I don't know how he made it to today.
Well, I could kind of feel that he's going to make it through today. I'll tell you what, though. That Pittsburgh game, I agree with Tony Grossi. That has a lot of haunting memories for ex-Browns coaches. Be careful. Cincinnati on the road after a bye week. Do they have any chance?
No.
I say no. I think they beat Houston. I'll beat you to the punch on the next one. They play Houston the following week at Houston. But I think they win that game.
Who's quarterback with Houston right now?
It's what's his name? Watson.
Is it Watson? I thought so.
That's a tough one. I think Falcons and Texans are tough. I really do.
I can't. Again, I don't know why they win.
I understand. Panthers at home. It's a tough game too. So the Panthers usually don't win games like that. I guess how about this? I bet you the Browns will win one of those two. Win one of those 2 games. I get choked up here, so I'm going through the schedule game. But I think they win one of those 2 games there.
Don't throw up all over your computer.
I'll do that. But, very dry out here in Connecticut. Very dry. It's what happens when Browns lose. You get all emotional on a podcast. But I think they win. How about this? They're going to win. They'll beat the Texans or the Panthers. They win one of those games. I think they do.
I think that the Broncos are beatable at home.
Saturday game, 4:30. They should win that game.
Yeah, but there you go again. They should.
I know.
The Bengals are weird. I didn't see any of that game last night. Did they get completely trounced by the Chiefs?
Run out of the.
But the Chiefs' defense isn't that great, right?
The thing is, the Chiefs have one of these offenses that can suffocate you mentality.
They can match anything. Yeah.
I know. And then
only the Patriots could keep up with them.
Weird. They need no chance the Browns beat the Ravens on Ozzie Newsome goodbye day, right? I don't think so.
No. Do I go to that game even if tickets are given to me? Probably not.
Ozzie Newsome goodbye day? That'd be a weird game to sit as a Browns fan.
I don't think I want to go to that game. Yeah, no.
Probably not. Save the money. It's New Year's in a couple of days. Real quickly around the league.
Yeah, actually, I'll probably be in Cleveland.
Gosh, that's true. That'd be nice to be in Cleveland for that. Real quickly around the league, the Saints are 5-1. People should watch out. The Rams keep winning. Bizarre ending to the Cowboys-Redskins game where a head bob by the center that other head bobs were not flagged. You know, that's the thing. Like, see, that's another example. Like, I mean, that's a bad call. Is it a bad call? You know, determine the game for sure, and the kicker ends up missing a field goal, and 5 yards closer looks like he makes it. Right. As Jared alluded to, the Chiefs are just – they played the Bengals. They are just rolling right now. The Bengals have lost all of a sudden 3 in a row. They're 4-3. So, you know, that's a quick take around the league. And, you know, I guess, you know, final thoughts are from this. I think you and I are kind of spelling the same thing. This is a dreadful week building up off a team that has a bye that we can't stand. You just hope during the week something comes out of this where it gives you hope on Sunday to win. Well, as of right now, it's a black hole to me.
This is the other thing that drives me nuts about this division. At 2-4-1, the Browns are in last place, but they're not out of this division. Like, they are not by any means. And again, and it just gives you one more reason to say, why aren't they trying to win right now?
I'll never understand that. And again, if they don't, you know, if they really collapse here, which I think they will, I don't want to hear about but Carlos Hyde. It's like, it's not about Carlos Hyde. It's about what that message sends to your team when you trade players like that. It sends a message that we're kind of done. You know, we're kind of done with this year. We're trying to get prepared for next year. I thought we were done with that. And here we are again, doing the same thing. Because we're here, I think it'd be a good cleansing moment. If you can do it. Do you want to do the Cavs real fast? I know we weren't going to do it, but I do want to talk about the Cavs.
Yeah, let's. I mean, this is the thing. What a disappointment.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
They were up 10 in the first quarter, and I thought, awesome. This is what I expected. Home opener. They're back. They've got it figured out. You know, at least for the time being. And then and then the second quarter, and then they never came back. Like, what'd they score? Like 5 points in the second quarter, it felt like?
It was just bad. I mean, I want to give two perspectives because it's been such a negative weekend.
It's worse than I thought is part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, reality's now here. Reality's here. Reality's here for the Browns for this year. I think reality's here for the.
Listen, when Cedi Osman, however he wants to say his name now, and Jetty's got the most minutes on the floor than anybody. That's not a good sign for this Cavs team.
Yeah, UK went down that road. He's the one player so far I am not seeing a lot. I know he's supposed to be this dynamic player, a playmaker who can get around the floor.
He traveled constantly.
I don't think Cedi Osman's playing that well at all. And I don't know if it's because of the pressure of having to start. I don't know if it's because he's bouncing a lot of minutes. He's got to get some more time. We all agree. I'll just tell you right now, Cedi Osman's really got to play better if he's going to get 39 minutes for the Cavs to win games. And he's not playing well.
That's 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 39 minutes. Like,
You forgot the key stat, too. 5 turnovers. 5.
I didn't even realize he had that many turnovers. Yeah, well, I guess,
5 turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's concerned. Cedi, it's early. It's only 3 games in. But I've now watched enough of Cedi where I'm seeing some consistencies, and I'm surprised he's playing as many minutes as he's playing right now. Hopefully there's a different guy that's going to come out of the woodwork here. If you want some positives, I think we need some on this podcast right now for Cleveland sports. I do like Sam Decker a lot. I thought Sam Decker had a nice game.
Yes, very nice game. He was aggressive.
Yeah. I thought he played well. I know Clarkson's plus-minus doesn't show up. I think Clarkson's had a nice start to the year so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's playing well. I know you feel maybe a little differently. I don't want to speak for you, but I think Sexton's going to be a good player.
I mean, he's got to find himself. I mean, he's truly a rookie. He really is. And you got a guy 3 games in again. He's 4 points. 4 points in 28 minutes. I mean, that's not.
He played well defensively, but he did not play. He
played well defensively, and the Hawks put up 133.
Oxymoron. Jeez, wash my mouth out. All right, let's get to that.
Look, 133 points, Andy. Are you kidding me?
Well, here, let's go to some of the point totals. This is a fun game
that fourth quarter was awful.
Well, the Timberwolves scored 131, so I mean we're 2 points more, so a little heavier on the scale. But here's the thing about the Cavs that is very eye-opening, which is now the bigger concern. I thought defense last year was a problem because of veterans and not being motivated. I think defense is a bigger problem than what we all knew. I mean, we're some games in now. This defense isn't even close. This is bad. This is so bad. I mean, this is bad. And for Kevin Love to make statements about, hey, I'm concerned about the team's motivation. Ugh.
Oh, I didn't hear that. When did he say that? After the game last night?
I got quoted. I'm going to make sure I got the right quote.
I struggled.
Here.
I had to shut it off. I was so that second quarter just sucked it out. I was already done with the day yesterday, so.
And, well, yeah, we all had a funeral procession after 5 o'clock. And again, Browns, if you're going to lose in regulation. Man, let's not drag it out in overtime. I mean, good Lord.
Fourth time.
And every game is like, it's like we're in some sort of comedic hell where every second counts. All right, back to
my whole life, Andy.
It sets. My son came downstairs and he goes, I don't want to watch this again. They're going to lose.
That's how I was last year. I'm telling you, I didn't watch them last year. I would check in, and that's it.
Last year, I excused my kids. I'm like, I understand this. I have to watch it because I feel like I'm like, I just don't know what else to do on Sundays. It's like my church for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I have to watch the Browns. I understand. You shouldn't watch this. It's just like sticking needles through your eye. But all right, let's go back to the Cavs. We did the Browns. We're good there. They did, next year. Can't wait. Mock drafts. Everybody should be here. Andy Jarid, mock drafts. It's going to be great. Cleveland.
Well, they got the NFC West next year or something too, right? And so the schedule's going to be easier. It's an easier schedule for 2019.
What could go wrong? We got 5th-round picks. Everybody's excited. On opening night, we expect to play better in front of our own fans. I don't know if alarming is the right word, but it sure seems right now. Our effort level just wasn't there.
No. My son made a comment. He goes, Dad, I can't watch them. I'd rather watch the Lakers right now. I said, are you serious? He goes, look, the crowd. You can't even hear them. It's crickets.
Empty. And by the way, I want to make 2 points with this. I'm interested to see how the Browns fans do going to the stadium as it gets colder in the winter. And I will also let's just keep our eye on that. I don't think it's been better, but it hasn't been full. Let's see what happens. Panthers, first weekend and, whenever it is, December. I want to see the stand. It's going to be tough to get those fannies in the seats. And when it comes back to the Cavs, there were a lot of empty seats at times during the game. That maybe people are running around. There's so much to do at the Cube.
Right, exactly.
I don't know people running around and stuff, but they certainly were in their seats. I mean, again, I think we're 3 games in. I don't want to blow this up yet. We don't have to do our podcast meltdown yet on the Cavs, but I think you can fairly now raise the flag of concern. I think definitely the Cavs are concerning. They had a similar game where a little tighter, but they lost to the Timberwolves. Again, I thought defense was more of a veteran thing. It's clearly not a veteran thing. And the other thing, too, is do the Cavs have to play this fast and we're going to give them 133 points?
Well, I mean, how good is Trae Young? This was his best game yet. I mean, 35 points?
That was a whole Sexton Trae Young thing. They played last year and Sexton shut him down. He was talking trash during that last year. So there's a lot more to that. That's the whole thing. That's why I think Sexton did not play his greatest games. I think he got too much into having to play Trae Young again and try to prove him wrong one way or the other. But anyways, I guess for another podcast. But excuse me. These losses are draining clearly on me.
Yeah, they take the energy out of you.
They take the energy out of me. The Cavs, it's early. Let's see what happens as we go along. The defense, it's a big one. I think Chetty Osman's a concern. I just when he's out on the floor, he really stands out at times about how out of place he looks. It's very awkward. And, Sexton's a rookie, so how much can you really expect from him? And, again, I guess my last comment, I was going to bring this up before I got to the love stuff. No Kyle Korver, no Fry. Wouldn't mind seeing those guys get in the game if we're going to lose like this.
What do you think? I don't see a reason why. I don't know what their rotation is even going to look like in a month, let alone.
I just am this team. The one thing I guess I'm feeling now, it's I'm not sure where I think this team's going to improve, but I am surprised by 39. You kind of pointed out it's true. 39 minutes from Chetty Osman, that's a lot of minutes for guys not playing well.
Yeah, are they trying to force that? Is it something that did they expect something different? I mean, honest to God, I never would have. I was actually surprised as soon as I looked. 39 points, that's.
It stands out because he's noticeable on the floor for how bad he plays at times. I hope it gets better. I hope it's just a one-time thing where he's just becoming a new starter.
Well, I mean, it's like you're looking at George Hill with 28 minutes and putting up 16 points and 3 assists. I don't know. What do you expect out of Chetty?
I don't know. This team's really got to find some identity. I mean, I guess that's my final point. This is all cool. We're faster tempo. Hey, that's great, but when you're giving up 133 points, you got to come up with some sort of identity.
No, I don't. They have no identity right now, and
nothing.
The identity is Kevin Love. That's not an identity.
Well, I think their identity is we really miss LeBron James.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, we're getting to it. We really miss LeBron, and my gosh.
Well, LeBron's got his hands full. on the West
A little
Coast.
bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble. A little bit.
Yeah, and who'd have seen that coming? Man, Rondo. Oh.
By the way, no
that
Ingram,
dude
no
is
Rondo.
something else.
No Ingram, no Rondo, and I think they play the Spurs next coming up, so that should be a fun little trip to San Antonio. Do you have the energy to do Purdue, or do you want to save it for the next round? I can do either way. Do you have the energy? Do you want to do Purdue?
We can because I don't really listen, Andy. I honestly don't have a lot on this because for me,
Ohio State football.
This is one of those I told you so games. I had a feeling that this was the perfect storm for when the Buckeyes get exposed, and they were exposed. That Purdue offense could do whatever it wanted.
How good's Rondell Moore? What did I say about him, by the way, last week? How good's Rondell Moore? The people think I'm just throwing out compliments about possible Heisman. Rondell Moore is a star. Number 4 for Purdue. Sorry, keeping it. DJ Knox had a really good game. Here's the thing that I think really threw Ohio State underneath the meat grinder. Braum can coach. And once he saw the exposures that Ohio State was giving him, he really put the clamps on him. And now to the other part of this game where I really saw it. I could not get over how many bad penalties Ohio State made in this game.
Ooh,
As Herb Street said, the cartwheel into the punter, which is what it was. The special teams for Purdue making plays. Like, Ohio State and Purdue were pretty neck and neck. I thought penalties, and then the other thing, which Ohio State's had this issue, we've been saying it on the ground all year.
I know.
In the red zone, getting that ball in the end zone seems to be a bit of a rash for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They didn't
rush for 100 yards.
No, again, by the way, it's not. You and I have talked about this on this podcast.
Even worse. I don't care how much. 73 passing attempts?
Is that a lot?
73.
Is that a lot? It's a little bit.
40. Dwayne Haskins was 49 of 73.
He completed 49. That's usually how many people attempt.
49. Right. For 470 yards.
What was very obvious to me, as I was telling you, I actually thought Ohio State's playing well. Purdue just came out and played. And then as the game wore on, Purdue actually wore them out. I'm just telling you, as someone who watches a lot of college football, Ohio State didn't play terribly at times. It just got to the point finally Purdue just like pushed them, and they finally just broke down. And then once the long runs for touchdowns, those were all backbreakers. We all know that. Magical night. Look, I'm a huge Purdue fan. That was a magical night. We don't get many of those in West Lafayette as a fan. It was a great night for that kid, Tyler. For people who haven't seen that, please check it out online.
Yeah,
wonderful
if you want to get teared up.
Yeah, exactly. Really great job by Tom Rinaldi and those guys. But Purdue really, they've been playing this way for a while. Blau has been playing better. But again, Rondell Moore, Knox, they're quick in space. They made a lot of big plays. Purdue really is on a roll right now. That is part of this game. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true.
No, absolutely.
Purdue's really playing well. And on the other half, inside the red zone, that kind of scoring, what is going on with this running game. And again, I know people want to hammer on the defense, and I get that. The defense was clearly terrible. They gave up too many points. But I thought the penalties in this game played a bigger role than other people are mentioning. The penalties in this game really seemed to tee up. Because I thought at times the game was even, but I saw penalties really keeping drives extended. And then that special teams, that fake field goal really put some emphasis on the game as well.
I'm looking at beyond the game at this point. I don't, like I said, I don't have much to say about it because it was just they were beat on every part of the game. I mean, they just absolutely were. And then what I'm worried about is like you got a team that dropped from 2 to 11, and I don't know. The good news is Michigan won. I mean that's my point. Right. See, but I don't know that this is an Ohio State team that bounces back like previous Ohio State teams have with the loss. I don't think. I think that their issues on defense and their issues with the run game are too much. Too much. They might lose to Michigan State at home.
Well, let's get to some.
Although they looked terrible. Michigan State.
Michigan
State. They couldn't score. They couldn't do anything.
Let's hold that for a second. I was going to get there. Purdue, great win. Ohio State, you have a great opportunity ahead of you because you're going to play Michigan. You're going to play Michigan State. I'm not saying winning you're in because this kind of loss is going to play a memory on the minds in that room. But you have a paved road. Michigan doing what they're doing, and that opens that door back up, sadly. Because now Michigan can get in that door if they beat Ohio State. For a non-fan, Michigan-Ohio State this year is going to be fantastic at the end of the year.
Yes.
Because that game is building to what we all wanted. Because Harbaugh can really – boy, talk about a big moment for him. That was a great win against Michigan State. Michigan's defense is playing better each week, getting better, stronger. In fact, that's another game. If they would have done a few more things on offense in the first half, Michigan wins that game by 28 plus.
Right, yeah, that first half was really painful to watch on both sides of the ball.
Weather delay, it was weird.
Yeah, that was, yep. Yeah, and what do you think about, who was that? Was that Bush at the 50-yard line?
Here's the whole thing. I'm actually on Harbaugh's side on this because when I saw D'Antonio walking with the team, walking behind him, and he doesn't say anything as a coach, I'm with Harbaugh. I get it. I'm not saying you should be depleting the field and taking up grass. I mean, and by the way, he was just having an emotional moment there. But I get why he did it because he was ticked about what Michigan State was doing. Michigan State sometimes gives us aura that I really feel more in basketball. But I've kind of felt this at times where Michigan State goes, we're Sparty and we're spunky. Calm down.
Right. No, it kind of reminds me of those Celtics teams a few years ago where,
Calm down. You don't have to link. There's no rule that says every team must link arm in arm and go. No. That they did that. They wanted to do that. They definitely ran through Michigan on that stuff. Hey, look, let's call it the way we see it. I know why Harbaugh was mad. And D'Antonio can play this tough guy and he's got this image, but D'Antonio was wrong. If you're walking behind a team and you see two guys get clothesline from your own team, what would you say if you're the coach?
Well, it's funny how that played out because the only thing you see on social media is the digging up, the cleating of the.
That's where social media spun it the wrong way.
Right.
What should be spun is why didn't the coach of Michigan State stop them? Hey, you were late for your walkthrough. Michigan players were warming up. What do you want them to do?
Well, Andy, it goes back to the bigger problem that I see in college football where these coaches, they think that they're gods.
That's a good point. That's for a good podcast, too. I agree. I agree. And
their stuff don't stink.
Yep.
They are – just look at the worship of Urban Meyer with those fans that were standing outside of the shoe holding signs about him after that. Like, give me a break, you middle-aged losers. Go to work. Like, that's the mentality of some of these people with these coaches.
I agree.
Give me a break. But that's where that comes from, and you're right. That is, that's a whole other podcast. Especially for the big names. For the big schools.
Well, that aside, Michigan Ohio State just got to add a lot more spice. I think Ohio State could get in the playoff. I will admit I was not expecting a 29-point loss. So that damages them greatly. They're going to have to win out. They can't afford another loss. But again, they have some opportunities. They have a road there. Quickly around college football, Clemson won big. The NC State's terrible. Tennessee's putting out high school teams against Alabama. Alabama will play LSU. They get by Mississippi State. Alabama LSU is going to be a wonderful game in 2 weeks. They both have byes, and they both play that. And then, Oklahoma, Washington State with a good – by the way, Pullman College Game Day has a great scene. I was watching some of that on Saturday morning. That was a really cool show. And, again, just back to the top, as a Purdue fan, that was a great moment for that school. There's been a lot of great wins with Drew Brees. There's been some great wins, too, with Kyle Orton and some other players. That was probably one of the best Purdue wins I've ever seen. I know it happened against Ohio State. If you guys are bummed, I apologize. But as a Purdue fan, let me tell you, that was a with all that was going on that day with the story about Tyler and what that game meant.
Yeah, I don't think even Ohio State fans can't hate on this game, on anything. I mean, you just can't.
It had us a lot of juice to it. The things to watch in the playoff picture, we kind of named these teams. You're going to hear about the Clemsons and the Alabamas, obviously, as they stand out. Notre Dame, it helps them again. Seeing those teams lose goes one more notch up. By the way, Michigan and Notre Dame, it's funny. Those two teams that played early in the year, you're starting to see them stack. And that's helping both teams out here. And that actually hurts Ohio State. Ohio State needs TCU to start winning some games. Badly.
Yeah.
Badly. They lost again to Oklahoma, and their record now is 3-4. Need to start winning some games. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. I could talk to you about a myriad of other things about baseball. Dodgers, Red Sox, we all know it's analytics boring this year. I just had another phone conversation about someone who works on baseball productions, and even he's not liking it. But Dodgers, Red Sox is a sexy World Series. I will forbid to predict it, as my predictions have been wrong. But for those of you who like to lose your money, I would take the Red Sox. I'm sure the Dodgers will win. But like I said, I'm sure the Dodgers will win now. But that is a wonderful World Series. And then, like I said, everything else will play itself out. But to go back to the top and what we're hammering home here, I just hope this year does not unravel like I think it might for the Browns. Because this year's been fun so far. It's been fun for guys like you and I to talk positively about the Browns. We knew they weren't going to the playoffs. They're winning playoff games. I'm not predicting that, but it was fun to know they were going to be in games. I just hope the first half of the Buccaneer game is not a sign to come in these games. I just hope it's not.
Those flat first halves are they don't. It's not easy to win when you're playing from behind all the time, and it's great. It's nice to see that they've got the ability to come back. But again, look what we're talking about here. Another loss. They couldn't finish. They couldn't pull it out.
Let me ask you, as an Ohioan, was more disappointing or damning, the Ohio State game or the Browns?
Probably the Browns, only because I feel like I've invested a little bit more into them this season. Right. Obviously compared to last year, and because I really, man, I can't help it, Andy. That off the field stuff that went on with Ohio State prior to the season starting, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And there's a part of me that is glad. Oh, I shouldn't say this, but am I glad that they lost to Purdue? I'm not as upset that they lost as I normally would be.
Yeah, a little karma, maybe in some ways. Oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah, I'm ready for Urban to go. I think that's the other issue.
I will say this. I think Urban's having a strange year, forgetting all those things that's been going on now. That's all past, and that's a lot. I would get rid of Urban too. But as a coach himself, his teams are not, that was a weird performance. It's like I said, it's one thing for your team to fall. I thought Ohio State wasn't playing terribly. They just weren't making plays. Purdue was outplaying them. It was strange. It didn't remind me of Iowa, where I saw a team just completely collapse and fall apart. They weren't playing well. I thought Ohio State just wasn't making enough plays to win the game. And then the whole blowout happened after that, and then everything just exploded.
Yeah, I mean, that second half was just not something that you're used to seeing it, at least because you've seen it a few times. Ohio State come back in that second half and turn into the Ohio State that they can be. But as this season's worn on, you kind of know who Ohio State is at this point. Yeah. I mean, it's late enough in the season that we can say that's why I'm not surprised they dropped to 11. Hell, I'm surprised they're in the top 15 at this point after that game. I am.
Well, I'll tell you, here's the last thought going out here. I think Ohio State, Haskins can play. They have playmakers in space. But what is going to be interesting is they're going to be playing against Michigan State and Michigan. So those are teams that can – and at Northwestern is not an easy game. So throw that in there too. It'll be interesting to see if Ohio State, how they do in these games, because as the seasons progress, usually at some point, Urban Meyer's teams in November always play better. I wonder if that'll be the same this year.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
By the way, I feel what you're saying. I think it'll be interesting to see. Like we mentioned about the World Series, I mean, I guess my final thought is I don't like to be negative about the Browns. I just hope we see some things come out of that leading up to the Steeler week where I don't want to hear about it. Play calling and Haley and Hue. I mean, we got to get this stuff on the field, and I'm hoping, leading into this week against the Steelers, you didn't mention, you're right. I mean, the Browns still have a backdoor way because they've been good in the division. They're 1-0-1. It'd be nice for them to get a win, but, just seeing what's ahead and knowing what the Browns have experienced, it's hard not to be that Charlie Brown, right? It's just hard. And you hope you're wrong, but it's just hard right now. It's really, really tough.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if anything happens between now and Friday, and when we do our preview show. And I got good news. Nothing happened to the Indians. That was a nice week for them. It was good. Yeah, we've got that. No news is good news.
Nothing happened. We're okay there. But yeah,
garbage
this was
week.
I know it was a tough week for many of you. Being a Boilermaker fan, it wasn't so bad. I think the last thing I think we should all talk about too. Notre Dame is going big. They play Navy. They play some bigger games going down the stretch. The college football season ending now is going to get a lot more juicier after this week. Really, Florida, Georgia's it. But starting in November, a lot of big games. Yeah. SC, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State. All these games now. Alabama, LSU. Really good games coming up in November.
Yep.
And hopefully, we see some things break out on the field. There's been a lot. I think you kind of hit it. There's been a lot of off the field stuff this year in college football. It'd be nice to get back on the field. These games should be good going down the stretch. And I want to try to end on a positive. So that was my positive note for today. Again, better times. I guess what you say is better times ahead. And I do believe endorsing the long run. But I do not like how he handled that trade with Carlos Hyde.
That's it. I'm calling it. We're beating Pittsburgh at home. We're going to beat them. We're winning this game.
That's awesome.
We're winning this game.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to put the Browns and beat Pittsburgh. I'm going to get some coffee and call it a day.
All right, cool. Is that it? You good, Andy?
I'm ready, buddy. I need to get some coffee in me. Look, better times ahead. Better times ahead. And, I just want to hear on my next podcast, holy cow, Baker, 300-plus yard touchdowns. Yes. Kenny Osmond averaged a triple-double.
You're not getting that. That ain't happening. I'll tell you that right now. Kevin Love with a 39-point solid double-double, and I don't know. I don't even know what Collins.
Drafts. By the way, lots of mock drafts. Cavs mock drafts, too. So it looks like they're going to get that pick back because the Hawks won't get it. So lots of mock drafts. I ain't saying that.
That's it. So that's what we're doing. Friday is the draft.
It'd be great.
29th is mock draft.
Hey, by the way, Joey Bosa, for people who miss him, don't worry. We'll talk about him again. The Browns might draft him.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
It'll be fun.
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. This is Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and beyond. Oh, it was a tough week, but we're going to get back at it. Take care, Andy.
Later, buddy.
Hey, don't forget to follow Andy and Jarid, Cleveland and Beyond on Facebook at facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond, and on Twitter at CLE and Beyond. That's at CLE and Beyond on Twitter. You can also shoot us an email, andyandjarid@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing your comments. Take care, everybody.